The Public Religion Research Institute did a study to see what types of people we include in our social circles, and they specifically wanted to look at race. And I think that this is a relevant story, especially given all the news that's occurring with the Michael Brown shooting, and it kind of puts everything into perspective, because if you self-segregate, you're less likely to understand the perceptions of different communities, right? Now, let me tell you how this study was done. As part of their American Values Survey, PRRI, again, the Public Religion Research Institute, researchers asked respondents to name up to 7 people with whom they regularly discussed important matters. They then asked a battery of demographic questions about these people, their relationships to their respondents, as well as their gender, religion, and germane for their purposes, their race. They used these numbers to derive average racial breakdowns of their friends' networks of the average Black, white, and Hispanic survey respondent. Now, the results are really fascinating. Let's take a look at the graphic that kind of breaks everything down for you in a very visual way. So first, they look at white Americans, and they notice that the average white American has 91 white friends, 1 Black friend, 1 Latino friend, 1 Asian friend, 1 mixed race friend, 1 other race friend, and 3 friends of an unknown race.
Just to be clear, the average white American does not have 100 friends. To make the numbers work,
yes,
they presumed that everybody has 100 friends. They
yes,
recognize that not everybody does. They then extrapolated this out.
It's a way of breaking it down percentage-wise, so it's easier to understand, right? So 1% of your friends are likely to be Black if you are the average white American.
Right,
That's the way that they're trying to give you that information. But by the way, when it comes to Black Americans, the numbers are interesting as well. Take a look at that. So the average Black American, 83 Black friends, 8 white friends, 2 Latino friends, 0 Asian friends, 3 mixed race friends, 1 other race friend, 4 friends of an unknown race.
I like that. I love other race.
I know.
You know, I got 1 Inuit Indian friend.
Yeah. So okay. So.
And what's with Black people hating on Asians?
I don't know. What's going on with that?
Black people got no Asian friends?
Yeah. Now look, there are a number of factors that play a role into this, right? So first of all, it's of course important to keep in mind that white individuals outnumber Black individuals significantly, right? So regardless of what your race is, you're likely to have more white friends because of that alone. It's the numbers game. But when it comes to other factors, it's also important to keep in mind that we're likely to self-segregate. And even if you're not like a racist person overtly or, you know, in any other way, even if you don't believe in the stereotypes, you're likely to want to become friends with people that you're comfortable with that seem similar to you. So let me give you a quote from the Washington Post.
And real quick, the reason why you want to do that is, of course, is because, again, that's who you know, that's who you feel comfortable with. And so the result is that you then end up being friends with people who are like you, so that even if you're a white guy who has a couple of black friends, they might be, in that case, Black friends you went to college with who might have a different Black experience than the typical Black experience, which just makes it, again, even more likely for a lot of white people to get an understanding of how Black people in America, look, mostly everybody's the same, but how Black people, when it comes to issues relating to race, like what happened in Ferguson, how you might do what Megyn Kelly was so successful in the first hour of talking about with Bill O'Reilly, how maybe they're going to see things through a different prism and understanding.
Yes, again, if you live in your own bubble, it's really difficult to understand things or comprehend things that exist outside of that bubble, or at least it's difficult to understand that perspective. And that's what they're trying to, make evident in this study. So the other factor is the tendency to seek out and associate with people who are similar to us in any number of ways, whether it's religiously, politically, economically, and racially too. The polite term for this phenomenon is sorting, and it impacts everything from political polarization to income inequality to the racial differences in friend networks. And one of the lead researchers in this study mentioned that, and I think that it makes all the sense in the world. And it doesn't necessarily make you a bad person, but you should be cognizant of it and understand that it does skew your perception of certain things that happen in the world. So with the Ferguson shooting, I mean, I don't think that it's surprising that you will likely see the supporters of, the cop be white individuals.
Yeah, I'm still struck by the numbers, and I guess Megyn Kelly quoted the Pew Research that only 33% of whites think that the cops might have used excessive force. I mean, it seems obvious that they used excessive force. If any time a guy without a weapon was gunned down, I think the cops I'm going to tend toward thinking excessive force. If he had a gun, all bets are off. But
Yeah.
since we know he didn't, so yeah, you use the word skew, and I would use a different word because I would look at it differently. Because skewing, saying that it might skew your worldview, I think rather than skewing your worldview, and really this is essentially the same thing, but to me somehow it sounds different. It fails to broaden your worldview. Is that we get a worldview and then we pick the people who fit into that worldview around us, and then you never sort of challenge yourself to see things differently. And I guess that is skewing, but mainly what it isn't is a failure to open yourself up to seeing how different people live and how seeing how they live might change how they view things, or make them view things that you view in a very particular way in a totally different way.
Yeah, so when it comes to issues like affirmative action, I think one of the biggest upsides to affirmative action that people don't talk about enough is that it opens you to experiences that you otherwise wouldn't have, right? So people from different socioeconomic statuses, people from different religious backgrounds, people from different racial backgrounds. Having a diverse campus isn't just beneficial to those who have been disenfranchised or those who have dealt with discrimination. It's beneficial for people who have had white privilege or who have had certain opportunities given to them just because of the color of their skin. It makes you understand the perspectives of other people, and I appreciate that. That's an awesome experience to have when you're in college.
I don't want my daughter to go to school with black and brown kids and Armenian kids. No, I don't want her to go to school with black and brown kids because it makes me feel good about being a liberal. Like, I don't care. I guess it does. She'll get something out of that. And I want her to go to school with black and brown kids and white kids who aren't all of the exact same socioeconomic status that we are, who have because she's a kid, and you know what she'll do? She'll become friends with them.
Yeah.
And she'll learn, and she'll open up, and she'll be opened and broadened to a whole different kind of world. And I want her, and then when she goes to college, I don't want the college to let in kids who can't handle the workload there, but I want them to find kids from all walks of life who look different.
Yes.
And if that means that some white kids who are talented enough don't get into that college, I don't give a shit. Go to a different college.
There are a lot of colleges out there.
Yeah, there are a lot of colleges. Yeah.